Alright, now we start with the next part of this chapter, and that is the law of supply. I have given the definition of law of supply here on the board. It states the direct relationship between price and quantity supplied, keeping other factors constant. We have done the various factors that affect supply, keeping the other factors constant. That means the prices of related goods, the state of technology, the costs, the taxes, etc. have to be kept constant. The relationship is only between price of the commodity X and quantity supplied of X by the firm. This relationship is given and explained as a law, and the law is called law of supply. So we carry on first with the assumptions. The assumptions of the law of supply are the term keeping other factors or ceteris paribus. This is an important term. Ceteris paribus is an Italian term, and this has to be also written along with the meaning in English. Keeping other factors. Other factors are the various factors that affect supply other than the price of the commodity itself. I just did the various factors that affect supply, that is the prices of other commodities, the state of technology, the taxes, etc. So, the term keeping other factors or ceteris paribus refers to the various factors on which the law of supply depends. And what are the various factors on which the law of supply depends? First one is prices of other goods. They have to be kept constant. Second one, there should be no change in the state of technology. Whatever state of technology you have adopted in the first instance, you continue with that. Only then the law of supply will be applicable. Third one, prices of factors of production remain constant. The wages and salaries will remain constant. The rent of the plot of land on which production is being conducted has to remain constant. So, prices of factors of production remain constant. The fourth factor, there is no change in taxation policy. The rules of the government relating to prices should also remain constant. Then the fifth point is goals of the producer remains the same, and that of course is that he wants to maximize his profit. Then to explain the law of supply, we have the schedule and the diagram relating to supply. Once again, as price increases, quantity supplied increases, and the supply curve is a rising curve. Then we come to the important points of the law of supply. First one, it states the positive relationship between price and quantity supplied, assuming no change in other factors. There are a lot of factors that affect supply, which we have done earlier. We assume that there is no change in any of the other factors that affect supply except for the price of the commodity under study. Second one, it is a qualitative statement. It indicates the direction of change and not the magnitude of change. We just come to know that it is a rising curve indicating the direction of change rather than how much change happens. Third point, it does not establish any proportionate relationship between change in price and the resultant change in quantity supplied. And the last point is law is one-sided, as it explains only the effect of change in price on the supply and not on the, if no effect is shown about the change in prices of any other goods that are to be taken into account. So it is a rising curve. Now let us do the reasons of law of supply. First one is profit motive. Each producer wants to maximize his profit. As price rises, his profit margin also rises. Second reason for the law of supply to occur is change in number of firms. If prices rise, more firms will enter the market, and gradually as more firms will enter the market, the total supply in the market will definitely outswing, and this will affect primarily the demand for the product, and maybe it leads to a fall in the price of the commodity. So you have to also understand what happens when there are changes in the number of firms that will affect the supply immediately of the commodity. Then you have change in stock. When price rises, producers will definitely try to supply more, because higher the price, higher will be their profit margin. So these are the reasons for the occurrence of law of supply. Then we come to the exceptions of law of supply. First one, future expectations. If producers expect that there is going to be a fall in the price of the commodity, they will like to restrict its supply in future, but try to sell off as much now as possible. Second one, agricultural goods. In case of agricultural goods, the law of supply is not applicable too much, because in case of agricultural products, their prices keep on varying from place to place, and climate has a greater impact rather than the price of the product itself. Next one is perishable goods. Sellers will like to sell off the perishable goods on the very day that they have brought it to the market, because otherwise they will get spoiled and they cannot sell off that product at all or get any return on it. So this law of supply will not be applicable for perishable commodities. Next one is rare articles. There are certain products which are very rare. For example, the painting of Mona Lisa or rare diamonds. In such cases, their price tends to rise more and more over a period of time, because there is no substitute to them. Next one and the last point is backward countries. In case of backward countries, since they have a large number of problems, the law of supply is not applicable, because in certain situations or moreover, they are producing primarily agricultural products, and that is why agricultural products are subject to the market risks, and hence law of supply is not applicable to them. So please like and subscribe my video, children. All the best.